crack some eggs, baby.
All evil had
No
to
one
be
thinks so.
destroyed.
They're good men being used to evil ends. They had to go.
Lost souls, the Father has already given me forgiveness. Forgive us.
I don't think Van Helsing seeks forgiveness.
No, he really doesn't.
Yeah, most of those people you were killed are innocent people. You realize that, right?
He cocaine's his way out of it.
Exactly.
Feelings are coming up. Where's the cocaine?
All that therapy in Belgium helped.
Exactly. With my demons and rationalize what I've done.
I did it for Pumpkin.
Yeah, yeah.
Did it for Pumpkin.
Yeah, you actually paid a visit to Pumpkin in the States before you
How's
went
she
back
doing?
to Malta. Oh, she's doing better. Yeah, she's doing better. She's not talking yet.
Oh, okay.
She won't talk.
That's kind of a blessing, actually.
You're not sure. You're not sure if she recognized you or not, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's like that. Okay.
Well, some serious trauma. Yeah,
Things
for
aren't
sure.
good. I'm sure it was.
Van Helsing's merciless view of the world. What? You won't talk to me because you're insane, you bitch.
Yeah. All right, so what I was telling these guys, Tom, is, as I said, you guys have free reign here. The general scale of the island here, sort of a long ways across this way, it's about 2.5 miles. And the island itself is sort of the top of the highest mountain of this city, jutting up out of the sea. So it's all very sheer surfaces. You know, it's like these cliffs kind of rising up to a central point, a central peak where all of these cultists are doing this profane ritual at the base of this gigantic towering structure at the peak of the island. It has these huge like doors you can see in it. So in order to find the blue monolith, you're going to have to pick certain parts of the island to look. And because of the mist and the fog, it's kind of hard to see. So you're going to have to get kind of a closer look to be able to find the blue monolith.
I say we start over here and move around, you know?
All right. Start over here and then come in this way and hunt.
And then work around this way, you know?
Okay. I'm down with that.
Yep, that works for me too.
We'll come around, you know. Let's start over here at this.
What does this the Devil's Route mean? Have we heard of that tale?
That's Devlin's route. That's us.
Yeah, Stuart Devlin. He's the pilot of the Zeppelin. I had made a route, but I think we have changed our mind that you guys were going to just do a gun run right away. But I think we've changed our minds on that.
Yeah, we want to.
I convinced them.
Yeah, exactly.
Good convincing.
Yay!
Excellent idea.
That was smart. All right, so let's do that.
Okay. All right. So the Zeppelin's coming in from the sea this way, I assume. Coming in from up here.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody give me a spot hidden roll.
Right.
Once again, this black and slimy mountaintop, you can see below you like bloated sea creatures gasping in the muck and mud. And there's dripping seaweed everywhere, all over these gigantic structures.
Nice. John looked at it, and so did Alusha.
Just thousands of huge stone buildings and monuments in black or green stone.
Hey, I'm here, guys. Did I miss anything?
No, good timing.
Roll.
Yeah, we're just starting out.
Typical Russian.
Excellent. We're in the Zeppelin. We're looking for the blue monolith up here. Now, below you, there are parts of the island that are kind of obscured, partially because it's kind of misty and foggy in some areas down there. But among the thousands of huge stone buildings, all consisting of sort of unearthly geometry, they all have very weird looking angles in the corpse city.
The corpse city.
Smell corpses.
So what did you see with your spot hidden? The corpse city? Is that what you're seeing?
Well, I'm just kind of describing the general area down there as you guys descend towards the northern part of the island.
I think I see Legos.
And up on the more raised part of the island up here, you see, partially obscured by these blocks of stone surrounding it, you see a tall, perfectly cylindrical pillar of bluish gray stone angling up into the sky.
That is the monument.
It's
I see
literally like a pillar, and you don't see any visible openings or windows, and it just looks like smooth stone. And being a pillar, it has sort of a flat top on it.
Where is it shown on the map?
It's
right there.
It's up here in the raised
We
area
must move.
of sort of the northern peninsula of the city, jutting up out of the ocean. And
Rush and yell out, "There it is!"
yes,
There is our objective.
monolith ho.
They're inserting the spell.
But the surrounding buildings are kind of jutting out at weird angles, and it's hard to tell if the monolith like is standing straight and upright, or if it may appear to be teetering to one side, possibly, kind of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, you know. But you know, as you're looking at it, it's kind of hard to tell because you're looking at it at different angles as the Zeppelin is moving. And the sky has this sort of greenish color to it, and it's even hard to tell if the horizon is level, or if even the sky and the sea still meet. So as you spot the monolith, Devlin begins descending toward it, and it looks at least several hundred feet in diameter. And as far as height, probably about 700 to 800 feet high. It's hard to judge, though, as you approach it.
Their men start chanting the spell all together.
Yeah,
Let's get on top of it.
Do we have to be on top of it? Or
Be
just
on it. No, you have to be on top of it.
I
Correct.
feel like I just want to like throw the doctor.
No, we're
onto
not throwing the
the
doctor. Let's have Devlin take us to the top, and well, I think our climbing buddies, Alicia and Jean-Luc, should be down. We should
Yes,
have.
we see King
We're preparing the. Well, I'm preparing the ropes right now with Alicia. We're
Nice.
Oh.
That's Stuart Devlin.
Oh, that was Devlin? Okay.
All right, so as you guys are descending down to the monolith, you can begin preparing, you know, the ropes, just to scale down to it. Devlin says that he'll do his best. What he's going to have to do, though, he can't necessarily stop the Zeppelin, you know, in midair. It's still going to be moving. So what's going to have to happen if you guys want to get onto the monolith, you're going to be basically having to hang from some lines, you know, beneath the dirigible and drop down to the top of it.
All right. Sounds like I'm really glad. Hey, by the way, Johnny Law,
Yeah.
why don't you do your skill checks before we go any further?
It's a good idea. Why don't I?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if I
You
actually have
could,
a skill
you could
check.
probably use some extra luck, perhaps. Something.
Yeah, and even if you don't have any
Ah.
skill checks, so you can always check your luck as well. Try to roll higher than your luck to increase it by 1d10.
Yay!
There you go, Aiden. That'll give you a 1d10 more luck.
Yay!
There may be some luck involved here.
Oh wait, no shit.
Ooh, I failed my luck
Wow.
roll. I failed my luck roll. Yay.
Yeah, so get
The
1d10.
dice
It's like Van Helsing's
My
been saving his
screen.
luck up.
I could use it.
have merged. The dice have merged.
6. Dude.
All right, so even from this distance, you guys, you can see across the island to the towering peak, kind of beyond in the mist, and you can see the fires, and you can see the small, like little ant-sized people still dancing up there. And atop the cliff, you can see the final profane ritual. The voice of the ritual is the wild clattering of bone-shelled drums. And of course,
I hurl an
whose
insult.
purpose is eternal death and madness as you descend towards the blue monolith. Suddenly, from all around you... Oh, and again, I should mention, you can see the dark clouds kind of rolling in from the west, Tom. There appears to be some bad weather coming. But
Okay.
suddenly, all around you comes a great roar, like 100 thunderclaps. And it just shakes the air around you. And there's this sort of wild ringing in your ears for a moment, like a high-pitched gong. It's like a metallic bellowing roar. Suddenly below you, you can see cracks the face of the island. About a half a mile away from you, you can see this crack appear in the island. And you all kind of ready your weapons. And then you hear behind you on the deck of the Zeppelin a scream. A woman's scream. And you all turn, and standing towards the aft on the deck, you see Carl Stanford dressed in a black robe that seems to be drenched in some viscous, vaguely green oil. And he's wearing this strange, evil-looking headdress atop his head. And Stanford's pale lips are curved into a grin, and you see his wild, staring eyes turn down at a young woman that he has in a chokehold. And held at the throat of this woman, you see a long, wickedly curved dagger. In Van Helsing, you instantly recognize her as Pumpkin.
Oh no.
I
What?
get ready to shoot. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to just like...
And you hear, and Carl Stanford says, "Fools! We offered you glory, little rats. We offered what only gods can offer you. Purity of form, of purpose. You refused my favor. Now, I grant you one parting gift." And he cackles madly, and he pushes the shaking girl towards you, Tom. And she lands on the deck at your feet. And you can see her eyes. You can see Pumpkin's eyes, wide with terror, vacant of thought. And she has like this primal look of fear on her face. And you all kind of look back as he pushes the girl to the ground, and suddenly, just as he was there standing on the deck, he's gone. And Pumpkin turns up to you, Van Helsing, and she says, "Daddy." And you see her body begin to quiver and shake.
Oh no about this.
And then
man.
you see her eyes recede into her skull, and her skin begins to pop and bubble.
I turn away.
You know, this isn't her.
I cut
This
her
is
head off,
Evil Dead
dude.
shit, man. This.
I cut her head off.
Yeah, exactly. Cut the head off.
Yeah, Van Helsing.
Put her up with a chainsaw. Let's go.
Get the chainsaw!
Fuck that. Fuck that. That stuff ends now. That's
Cut her
gone.
head off.
Yeah.
I just go over and just cut her head off.
So you do, Tom. Actually, Van Helsing unsheaths his blade, and in a two-handed fashion, he brings the blade down upon her neck, and you see her head roll across the deck of the Zeppelin as he beheads her. But you can see erupting from her flesh is sort of this black, viscous shit. And then you see her abdomen burst. She's wearing like this kind of white linen robe, and you see this blood kind of spray everywhere. And
I kick her outside the blimp.
we're getting to that. And as you guys all watch, horrified, you see this green pulsing mass that has sort of these pale corpse white spots all over it. And in form, this thing that emerges from her abdomen can best be described as like a mass of 8 or 10 live animals all fused together and galloping in different directions at the same time. And you see longer, sort of knotted, you see kind of underneath on the under part of it as it emerges from her body, you see these longer knotted tendrils and strings sort of begin to drop from its mass.
I get to cut it.
It rises up from her body right there on the deck before you.
Is Stanford still on the ship too, or no? Is he?
No, it's just as he was there.
He was gone.
He's now gone.
Can I kick?
He's a magic man, that guy.
Can I kick this thing
We have to
off
go by
the blimp?
initiative.
Yeah, he says we offered what only the gods can offer you. And he says, now I grant you one parting gift. And he pushed her to the deck before you and just kind of disappeared. When you guys looked back to him after looking at the girl at his feet, he was gone.
Okay.
Jean-Luc, we're gonna we'll get to you, Aiden. Hold on, Jean-Luc. We're gonna let Jean-Luc react first here, and then it's gonna be Aloysia.
Roll initiative. All right.
All right,
Go,
so,
John.
so I attacked this thing with the. Well, actually, Kaden, where is this?
It's towards the aft part, the rear part of the deck on the Zeppelin. It's the top deck that you guys are on.
Now her head is off. Is she still moving?
Her body is just twitching, and you can still see like her skin is all kind of has like these black boils all over it. Yeah, her body is still moving, sort of convulsively. Yes.
Is her head rolling around on the floor? Will swallow your soul.
You see in her head,
Yeah, exactly.
her head's kind of up against the rail, on the deck there, and her hair is all matted with blood and shit at this point. Everybody give me a sanity check.
No.
I've seen worse.
I've seen worse.
You just beheaded your own daughter.
Hey!
Exactly.
Oh no!
Where is my sanity? Why can't I find this?
Jean-Luc, man.
Jean-Luc.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
No.
Hey, oh, I pass hard. I have seen worse. Okay.
Hard. Successful. Fumble. Hard.
Did we
All right.
roll to do any sanity? We rolled for luck. Did we get to gain sanity back or no?
We did gain some sanity back at the end of the Easter Island chapter, yeah.
Okay.
Generally only at the end scenario will we do the sanity increases.
Understood.
Unless you're in some kind of long-term therapy.
Got it.
It looks like everybody made it except for the Russian, right?
No.
Or no,
Jean-Luc.
No, the
Jean-Luc.
Frenchman.
Frenchman.
All right, everybody who made it lose 1 sanity. Lee, roll a d6.
Ooh. Under
Alright,
the
Jean-Luc.
golden 5.
Jean-Luc loses 4 sanity.
Oh, jeez.
Could be
Is
worse.
he gonna
Could
be
20.
insane?
No, not with
Plus
the 4.
5.
So this black pulsating greenish, it's weird looking. It's sort of black underneath, but it's like this green slimy color. And it's got these pale patches all over it. And it's alive. You can see it. It looks like it's trying to pull itself apart. And it has these masses of tendrils underneath it as it's floating up above Pumpkin's body. It's like the size of a man, generally. So what are you doing?
I shoot it, man.
What do you got here?
I whip out my 38 automatic, man, and I crack off 3 rounds.
All right, so roll 3 times to hit with firearms handgun, with a penalty die, for each shot. So just use the gray roll, or actually roll green again since you already rolled for the first one. We'll take the lower level of success here. All right, so the first round will hit. So click the gray button for the other 2 shots, Lee, because we're going to look at the -1 here. Success.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Jean-Luc's got a 93 handgun skill. I'm going to fail with the 3rd shot with the -1 roll. So let's see damage. Let's make sure it calculated damage right here. So we'll do the 8 damage for the, well, actually the first roll, 78, 75. So the 78, so 3 damage with the first shot. 9 damage with the second shot. All right, so you see the bullets fly into the thing.
Or hollow points.
Okay. Yeah, so like right now, you hit the gunfire erupts as this thing comes out of her body. Aloysia, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna like throw this thing off the blimp.
You're gonna grapple with it?
Yes.
It's actually not a terrible idea.
All right, it's gonna be a fighting brawl roll. So we're doing a maneuver here, basically.
Nice.
It's actually
Fighting
pretty smart.
brawl.
That might work.
That is good.
All right, man.
All right, let me roll for its fight back here.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see.
Boom. Boom. I just like lift it up and just hurl it out.
All right,
That's
so
awesome.
Aloysia gets up there, grabs the thing with both hands, and you see him wrestling with it towards the railing on the deck. And Aloysia, you realize this thing is kind of pulling away from you, and you feel its tendrils like slapping up against you. It seems to be flying though, so as you try to like hurl it away from you, it stays. It won't move. It's almost like gravity has ceased to exist with this thing because it's just floating. It doesn't seem to have any kind of wings or flying apparatus or anything like that, but it's actually floating.
Clark, I might need your help.
So Clark pulls out his camera.
That's actually probably exactly what he does.
Yeah. He's
Look
kind
at
of
his-
fumbling with his camera, getting it ready. Now
No,
what
make
is-
him roll.
I just.
Make him roll. See if he
Aloysia
gets
just
the
yells
picture.
at him.
Oh yeah.
Come on! I
I'm roll,
need
see if
your
he gets it.
help!
Let's see here.
Make him roll. See if he gets the picture. Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah!
Yes.
Hard 29, dude. That's
Nailed it.
awesome.
The lighting's perfect. He puts like a glamour shot sparkle on its
That's-
tendril.
Cover the National Geographic, man.
It's,
Yeah.
like, I'm just like looking back at him.
All right,
National Geographic. Here we come.
we're to Johnny Law. What's Johnny doing?
I need some
All
help.
right.
You see Aloysia grappling with this thing over there by the rail.
So, whoever just shot it was that Jean-Luc. Did his bullets? Do they look like they did anything? Did he hurt it, or is this thing?
You can tell he hit it.
Charge
I
it.
can't. Yeah, I'm just gonna charge it. All right.
Yeah, you see the impacts of the bullets.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it with that bayonet, the blessed blade.
All right,
So-
the bayonet charge.
What?
Okay.
That's kind of the, trademark Johnny Law bayonet charge. So
Okay. Well, since it's already
trademark.
engaged with Aloysia, I'm going to give you a bonus die on that roll. So click the gray button next to
excellent.
your bayonet skill there.
It's a fight brawl, right?
Yep.
No. How the what? Dude,
Actually,
seriously?
let's double check the skill roll for that here. So I think you may have a different. Yeah, it is fighting brawl. That's right. All right. So even with the penalty
all
dice,
right.
you rolled a 67 and a 77. So
Jeez.
67. And remember, you guys, you can use luck in combat. You just can't push combat rolls. So you could use 17 luck to hit it if you like. But
How much luck you got?
How much luck do I have? Got 49, so I'm not. That's up there,
Not a
but
lot.
that uses a lot of luck.
Yeah.
I'd like to say this. What are you saving it for?
That's a good point. What am I saving it for?
Uh-oh.
And if it gets a
think-
success, all I would need is 17 luck to match that, right? So
It did get a regular success with its fight back.
I guess you guys are right. I mean, what am I saving it
Well,
for? This
well,
is
what does
kind
that,
of end game.
if he fights back, you still win, right?
Right. Like,
Yeah.
as long as I tie it.
Mm-hmm.
If I tie it with
Well,
this.
you're gonna want to do it now.
Yeah, because...
You got to.
yeah, I'll push it with the luck.
All right. Spend 17 luck.
Yep.
And what's the damage for that? 1d6.
I think it's 1d6 plus 1d4.
Yeah,
I
plus
believe.
1, actually, yep.
Oh, yes, that's right. There's another plus 1.
Yeah, weapon damage is 1d6 plus 1, so.
here.
Rubs the finger of Jude in Scotland.
God has blessed us blade, and I am here to...
Oh, you don't need to put in the plus sign.
Okay,
to it.
yeah, I think I...
Yeah, when it asks for a modifier, just put in the number of the modifier, not the plus sign. There you go.
Isn't he praying for us?
All right, so
So
that's
3
3.
and then plus the d4, so...
Nice.
So, 6 points. Not terrible.
All right, you drive your bayonet deep into the body of the thing.
Nice.
And it quivers convulsively as you stab it.
Good.
Dr. Van Helsing, what are you doing? You're standing there with your blessed blade dripping with the blood of pumpkin.
Or what appeared to be pumpkin, at least.
What's the head doing exactly that I cut off?
Well, it's lying face down up against kind of the edge of the deck near the rail. You can see, it's all covered
The
in
monster,
blood.
man.
Any movement
It's
on the
your
body?
hero.
Not from the head. Her body, her headless body, is still convulsing on the deck before you. Her body has been torn open. The abdomen is completely exposed. You can see her guts. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm wondering if I should
Fourth
just spear
top.
her head and throw it over the edge or attack the body.
No,
You got a
attack the
blessed
monster.
blade? I'd say attack the thing directly, man.
Yeah,
For what?
attack the monster, dude.
What?
With the blessed blade.
Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I gotta talk out for a second.
That's fine.
Hold on.
We're just standing here.
I'm sorry.
After Van Helsing, it's going to be Bear, and then we're going to be to. I guess the monster's going to get to go.
And how far away are we from where we need to jump on top of the monolith?
You're almost there.
Okay, I'm back.
Smash this thing, man.
Devlin's
The
at the
dog-
wheel, kind of looking back at what's going on the deck. You can see his crewmen are, they've got their rifles.
I take my blessed blade and I hack this thing in half, dude.
All right, Van Helsing charges the monster with the battle cry.
Ah,
And I
cocaine.
splice it.
Cocaine. Say something with cocaine.
Ugh,
Oh, dude. Ooh.
that sucks.
You rolled a
Should have
76.
done the line first, man.
I missed.
You get a bonus. You get a bonus dice though, Tom, because it's kind of in outnumbered mode. It's surrounded by
Okay.
attackers, so you do get a bonus die.
Ah.
Oh, both fail.
Oh, okay. Well, 49. We can
Luck.
push that.
Come on.
7 luck? Yeah, I could use
Some luck.
7.
7? Yeah.
Well, let's see what it rolls here first too.
Right?
It fails. Let's fight back.
He tries its best. It can't. He can't.
So
Yeah.
7 luck would make me do damage.
It would make you hit it. Yep.
So let me see here. Luck is at... Oh, luck is at 63.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Do it.
Dude.
It's kind of like endgame here, man. This is the time to
The world, baby.
What's 63
We're all
minus
just
7?
counting on
63 minus 7. It's gonna be 56. You're an accountant, don't you? You should know this.
No, I have machines do that. All right.
Technically, that is true.
All right. So I attack it. So how much damage do I do with my blessed blade
I believe it's 1d6 plus 1 for the
made
cage
by
sword.
the priest himself?
Yeah, it's Father McBride's blade, man.
That's right.
It's 1d6 plus 1, Tom.
What will happen if we succeed? Is there going to be a campaign after this? With this kind of...
Yes, after the finale here, we're going to go into Western mode for a while.
Like,
But
with these characters.
there actually is room for a continuation of this sometime in the future as well.
3 points.
All right.
Points.
I slice it.
What is your
And
battle
I-
cry?
And I kick her head with my foot over the edge as I approach the body.
Well, that's going to take next round, Tom.
All right, that's what I thought. I thought about it.
Yeah, the head's in the vicinity. Anyway, all right, Bear, we're to you. Tom, your blade, the blade of the sword cane bites into the thing. You can see this black blood kind of coming out of it now.
So it definitely does damage.
Seems to.
Okay.
4 points.
What's Bear doing? Bear, you can see the crewmen back there. They're getting their rifles out. Looks like they're helping here in a moment.
I yelled them to get on the 30 caliber. Get on the 30 caliber! Kill the cultist!
The crewman? What are you yelling at?
Unless somebody else gets there first. Unless one of you guys get there first.
Yeah, the cultists are kind of far away now. You guys are more up here.
Yeah. We're totally concentrating on the blue monolith. It's monster from the deck.
Okay,
I need the help.
so how many rounds do I figure we're away? I'm not asking, I'm asking Sean this. I know what you guys want me to do, but I mean,
I'd say
I'd
about 2 more rounds.
2 more rounds. Okay.
Yeah, you'll be within
There's-
enough of the vicinity of the blue monolith to kind of crawl down and try to jump off onto it.
Okay, he'll take a swing at the tendril beast with his blessed axe.
All right, I like it.
The blessed weapons come out.
Now, do I get a bonus dice for this?
You do.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't, missing
Nice.
the monolith. This thing, like Carl Stanford,
Do the
he's a
bonus
fancy
die.
fucker, It's like, you guys attacked this way. Oh, did you miss the blue monolith? I'm sorry. You know?
Right.
Okay.
You do get another roll, Kyle, and take the better roll.
Come on.
You rolled a 14 with the first one. Nice.
Jeez.
Just on the
All right.
edge.
There's the axe.
Okay, so
No.
the axe is what, 1d8,
Yeah, it's 1d8.
and I get a bonus with that too, right?
You do. You get a d4 bonus, I believe.
Oh God, I'm gonna need it.
Yes.
Oh, on both ends of the spectrum. All right, so
5.
5.
All right, Bear. As you bury your blade into this thing, it suddenly kind of becomes partially translucent, as if you can see through it in some of its parts, and it's still, pulsating and trying to pull itself apart. And you can see these tendrils coming out of the bottom of it suddenly kind of shoot out, and you see the tendrils along the deck of the Zeppelin around you.
All right.
You see here. It's going to make some attacks. All right. All right, it's attacking Bear and Van Helsing.
Okay.
It's attacking you with its tendrils, Bear.
All right.
So you can fight back if you like. Dodge.
I'm gonna
maneuver.
dodge.
All right, it rolls for its attack.
Mm.
Well,
Okay, and then it rolls its attack against Van Helsing. Oh, wait a minute, it gets 1d3 attacks, actually. Okay. Alright, it fails its attack against you as well, Van Helsing. Now we're back to Jean-Luc.
Wait, do I get to attack it?
Yes, actually, yeah, you should be able to fight back here.
Yeah, dude. I'd slice this bitch.
Go for it.
Say this bitch has got to go. That seller is not my mother.
Daddy.
That chick over the edge is not my daughter.
Hey, she finally spoke.
Oh, dude. There you go.
Hard hit.
Boom! Alright, so that's a 1d6 plus 1. Van Helsing fighting like a Spartan warrior on the deck of prophecy here.
What's the meaning of this crude interruption?
What is this crude interruption?
That's what you should have said when he appeared. Should have turned around. What is this crude interruption?
Oh!
Oh my god!
Max damage.
Oh, dude.
The blessed blade, the
Oh,
Holy
man.
Father.
It
The
just
Holy Father.
slices through this.
Holy
Alright.
Father's blessed blade.
Yeah, so black blood sprays all over the place, in your face, on your clothes.
May the power of the Lord beseech you.
Is it still black? I thought it went translucent.
It is partially translucent in places, yeah. It's still bleeding. This blackish blood is dripping and spraying everywhere now as you guys are hacking into it. We're back to you, Jean-Luc. It's a little bit more of a difficult shot if you plan to keep shooting.
You said there's tendrils on the deck, though?
Yes, even kind of splaying out along the deck towards you. They're close to you now too. There's dozens of them.
I dropped the pistol and chop with the enchanted axe on one of these tendrils. Whoa!
All right, so Jean-Luc whips out his enchanted axe. Go ahead and attack. They're going to attack back.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You beat it.
nice, dude.
Awesome. That's a 1d8 damage.
Job.
All right, Aloysia, we're back to you. You've got it. You've got it. You're grappling it now, and it's trying to, like, you know, wrap you up in these tendrils as you have it in this bear hug.
I just tried to draw my blade and attack it.
I'll allow that. Go ahead.
Alright.
Just gonna fight back. You get a bonus die. And Lee, actually, you should have gotten a bonus die as well if you'd like to roll again, see if you can get a critical success.
Nope, I failed.
It fails as well. Alright. So it was a regular success for that axe attack, Lee. Alright, so back to Clark here. Let me look at Clark's character sheet real quick here.
Hit.
He pulls out his 45 auto.
Oh god.
And takes another picture.
Oh,
Roll 13.
Dude.
Alright, back to you,
He's
Johnny Law.
Oh, well, hell, I guess I stab it again.
Alright, go for it.
that bayonet's blessed, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's blessed.
I thought so. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm using it instead of the gun. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think my
This photograph
character sheet here.
is just has stunned.
Do I still get a bonus die?
You do.
Excellent. Let's see, fight brawl, gray. There we go.
Success.
Excellent.
Nice.
Alright, roll your damage for that blade.
1d6 plus 1.
Nice.
6.
We're
Now we
slicing
get
up
the plus 4.
daughter.
Assume
No, I don't think so.
8 points.
Okay.
Nice.
We attack.
Alright, so you're just madly stabbing at it with the bayonet.
Oh,
Wow.
so question: if I've got like the bayonet's on the end of a gun, as I
Yes.
stab it, can I squeeze the trigger as I stab it and get a shot into it too? Or is that not possible?
It's I guess it's possible. Hell yes, it's possible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a penalty die for the shot, though.
Would it
Go
though?
ahead.
Even if like once it's stabbed in there, when I pull the trigger, how could I possibly miss?
We'll just roll
Okay.
with the penalty die.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, how could you? If you roll bad, you did.
That's what dice are for.
Exactly.
Oh, look at. Oh, wait.
There you go.
Because the gun could always jam too, you know.
That's true. That's true.
Fair enough. Fair
So
enough.
-1. You rolled a 75.
Oh, because you got the second. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a good try
Oh,
there, dude.
so
That
close.
was good.
So
That was
close.
good.
Sorry, we'll get him next round. I'll get him next round. Oh.
Exactly.
All right, it's Dr. Van Helsing's turn, and then Bear's up after that.
All right, dude. How this thing is still kicking that hard, man? I mean, there's that much life in it.
Serious beast. Chop it, Tom.
Should we
Chop it.
cast a
This
spell
is
on
this
this
is
thing?
hardcore, dude. We've gotten some hard hits in this thing, and it's not down yet.
Chop
Or
it
should
with
we
the
ca-
enchanted sword.
Should we
Chop
cast a spell on this thing? Like try to turn it back into the dust or something? Can I cast a spell at the same time I'm using my sword cane?
Not really. Well, what spell are we talking about here?
Like, what's the one that reconstitutes the death stuff into dust?
Reverse resurrection?
Yes.
Well, of course, that would only work on something
Yeah.
that's been resurrected using the spell.
And I don't think this thing has been resurrected.
Probably not.
Hmm. All right.
It's
What
all
about that
alive.
dust? The dust was made people visible. What was the other dust for?
Dust of Suleiman, which is
Yeah,
useful
what-
against creatures from other realities or other planes, is your understanding.
Hmm. So this doesn't seem to be indigenous.
Yeah, no, you've never seen anything quite like it. In fact,
I don't know. What do you guys think? You think the dust would work on it?
I don't think so, dude. I think the only thing that's going to work on this is some elbow grease in your fucking sword.
Honestly,
Rivet
like,
fumbles.
I'm hacking.
yeah, because otherwise, I mean,
Ooh.
you're kind of taking a risk guessing.
ooh,
Do I get a bonus dice though?
you do. Luckily,
Ah.
No. So just a mild fail.
It's just a mild fail. Oh,
all right. So Tom, as you hack at it with the sword, it grabs you with a couple of tendrils, and you feel as it wraps around your right leg and your left arm, you feel this searing pain in your skin as it grabs onto you.
I start
Yeah.
singing, "Hush, little baby, don't say a word."
Oh no no
My
no
son
no
of mine,
no! What?
bird.
Give me a Constitution check for Van Helsing.
I'm sorry I decapitated you.
Exactly, really.
Yeah, Daddy's real sorry.
Ooh, extreme, bitch! Boom! Exactly.
hits it
Kicks
right
it
in
like
the
a
heart.
I've seen
Decides
worse.
to leave the whole entire planet and actually help us.
All right, so as these tendrils wrap around you, it burns through your clothing and into your flesh, almost like acid. Van Helsing takes 2 damage, and he's grappled by this thing.
Uh-oh. That's not good. I have 4 hit points left.
Bear, it's going to be your turn.
Chop with your sword.
Well, I dodged.
Right, we're back to you. It's your
Okay.
turn again now.
Okay. Bear's still out of the corner of his eye, checking if he doesn't need. Right.
Yeah, so you just can't attack this round, but you can still act. You're just trying to avoid these tendrils that are kind of whipping around you right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna.
Away from it.
I'm gonna get myself, in the spot where I need to jump because we were 2 rounds away, 1 round ago, so we got like 1 round.
Right.
So Bear's gonna start making his way to the Geronimo point.
Yeah, so you move to the rail, you know, where the lines have been secured, and you look down. You can see the blue monolith approaching down in the mist. You're getting pretty close now. It's like you'd want to ready yourself.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Mm.
I remind the team, you know, like, hey,
Go Bear, go!
we must jump on the blue monolith. Bear not that great at climbing.
Write the spell, man.
Oh. No.
Let's see here. This thing is going to lash out with its tendrils. We're going to do the old D&D random attack rolls here. All right. So Bear's moved away from it. It's still attacking you, though, Bear. And one is attacking Jean-Luc, and another is attacking Jean-Luc. All right, so Bear, you see as you move towards the railing that follow you, and they're trying to grapple you here. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I was already in dodge mode, so I guess I'll just continue to dodge while I make my way to the rail.
Yeah, well, technically you were in dodge mode up to when it was your turn, you know? But yeah, you can dodge again if you like. You're just not going to be able to attack next round,
Fight back.
which I would recommend.
What's your fight brawl?
But hold on, you were talking, or Sean, what did you say, Sean?
I was just saying, you know, if you want to be able to take your next action is preparing to jump on top of the monolith, I would dodging it basically.
That's what I'm going to do, because somebody's got to get on top of this thing.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't all be fighting this thing and miss the blue monolith, and we just kind of fucked ourselves. All right,
Yes.
dodge it is.
We have to make another pass.
Boom.
Good.
Boom.
I'm sure Devlin's going to park above it. He's not going to just drive on.
No, he already said that he couldn't park above it, Lee, earlier.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
moving.
His first comment
Yeah,
about the ride.
He's going to try to keep it moving as slowly as possible, but it's going to continue moving.
In fact, I'm going to jump off next round.
Yeah, the only way to kind of get the Zeppelin under these conditions to get the Zeppelin to stop would be to tether it to something, you know. But it will still be slowly moving, kind of past the monolith. All right, so Bear successfully dodges the attack. Lee, Jean-Luc, these tendrils come racing along the deck at your feet.
Fight back, man, with the...
Yeah. All right, we'll roll fight back for the first one. It's attacking
fight back
twice.
with the enchanted axe.
Okay, roll. You hack it. And the second one, I'll get you. Roll your damage for that axe attack, Lee. So 1d8, I believe.
How many luck would I have to burn? 5 plus 1, 6. I'll burn the luck on the second one too.
And are you using your spear?
It wins on ties since it's attacking. You'd have to get a hard success.
Never mind. I got you.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Okay, so D8 on the
axe. Yep.
Are you using your spear, Lee? The Birdman spear?
No, I'm using the enchanted axe.
Oh, got it. Okay.
4 damage. All right, you hack at the first tendril and you cut it right in half as it flings towards you. The other one grabs you around the chest. Can you make a Constitution roll for me?
There you go.
All right, Jean-Luc, you take 2 damage from the acidic effect of the tendrils burning into your flesh. You can even see like smoke coming off of your skin. It's burning you. And it's got these barbs coming out of these tendrils, almost like thorns that latch onto you around your chest. So it's got you grappled. Van Helsing, it also has you grappled. Can you make another Constitution check for me, Tom?
Boom.
Good. Van Helsing takes 2 more damage.
What? And I made the roll? Holy shit.
You didn't go unconscious, yeah.
You're aware of all the pain you're feeling.
And now we're back to you, Jean-Luc. This thing, it has you grappled now. What are you doing?
I'll fight back.
Yeah, kill it. Hack at it.
I use the axe to chop this freaking tendril off. I'm like, die, beast.
All right, roll the axe attack. It's fighting back. All right, you beat it. The attacker wins on a tie. Roll your damage. You guys hear Devlin shout out. He's like, "We're over it!" These guys are going to get some shots off now at the beginning of the round. Let me make some rolls here. Rifle.
Hurrah. You failed. Oh, yes. Yes. Yay.
All right, you hear the rifle shots going off from the crewmen now, trying to shoot the main mass of this thing, which is near Van Helsing and Johnny, as they're fighting Aloysia, as they're fighting it. And you can see the bullets penetrating into it. We're now back to you, Aloysia.
I still keep hacking at this thing.
Go for it. With the sword attack.
Yes.
Yeah, with the sword.
Go ahead.
Yes.
All right. Roll your damage.
Which is going to be 1d8 plus 1.
Nice.
Oh!
Yeah.
Nice. Put it into the beastie.
All right, so Aloysia, as you hit it with your sword this time, the blood splatters, and you see it split into 4 or 5 separate pieces in front of you, and you see the tendrils sort of and begin to retract, and then you see the sort of translucent masses that are all separate now just kind of fade into like this misty looking glow, and then it's gone.
Good.
And Jean-Luc and Van Helsing, you're both released by these tendrils as they retract into these masses before they disappear. And it kind of lets you go, Lee, and you kind of stumble and fall down to one knee. And you kind of look, and you can see this thing is burned through your clothing. You have these red, bloody marks on your chest and your back. Badly burned.
New scars.
I light a cigarette. I just
Aloysia lights a cigarette.
I administer a round of
Hurry over
And-
to the side.
and I jump over the edge with my other rope.
Yeah.
But not
I just
but not
casually
before
walk
I administer
towards
it.
the rope.
And the Russian and the Frenchman can climb pretty well, so he's scaled down, man.
All right, as you guys look over the railing, you can see the top of the blue monolith down there. As I said, it's a pretty large area atop of this thing, a couple 100 feet across. It's large, so it's going to be hard to miss.
Oh, man.
Yeah, by the kind of rappelling down these lines hanging off the side of the Zeppelin. I'll just require either a dex roll, a jump roll, or a climb roll. I'm going to be generous here.
Dex roll, a climb roll. What was the other one?
Jump.
Yay!
I shimmy down like a monkey.
I just slowly go down with my cigar in hand.
I blow the 11 points that makes me make this out of luck.
Sure.
You
Are we
somehow
all
just.
going? We're all going?
Yeah, we
man.
the more changers.
Burn the luck.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a
Yeah.
dexterity roll or a jump roll or a climb choice.
I burned the
Dexterity,
13
or
luck.
climb. Okay.
Okay, it's a good thing you saved that
13
luck,
to
Tom.
make it. What's
All
that?
right. It's a good thing you saved that luck.
Yep. Okay.
Van Helsing's not the most. He's been doing great though.
What's
Proficient
the strength?
climber.
Like,
That's the most
what's
athletic.
Helsing's-
All right.
what's
I'm gonna
Helsing's
burn the
strength?
3 to make me make this.
All right, burn 3.
Doesn't Van Helsing have like a 3 strength or something?
35.
Yeah, like a 35 or something.
35.
He's not the most maskly, man. He's big and fat and waddly.
Did we kill what's left of Pumpkin, or are we leaving it on the ship and jumping onto the island?
It disappeared.
Her head's there, but her body.
I'm just casually.
Well,
just
what's
on
left
the
of her
blue
body is
monolith, just
The more
smoking.
chanters, the better.
yeah. What's left of her body is
The
still
more
there.
chanters, the better, man.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
just keep smoking.
So as
Well,
you
we
guys
landed
get down on top of the
monolith.
monolith, the sort of
Cast a spell.
the smell of like fish and the stench of the mist that's kind of lingering about on top of this monolith, pretty foul. And from atop
God, it
the
smells like
monolith,
Marseille.
from atop the monolith, you can clearly see the sort of hillock atop the peak across the island from you. It's about roughly a mile away, but through the mist and the fog, you can see the dozens of cultists still leaping naked around that site. And you can see the torches and firelight. It is daytime, but it's more of a twilight sort of light level here, guys, because the sky is kind of covered with clouds now as they come rolling in. Those clouds have these like a strange green nimbus around them as you're looking up. And again, it's hard to tell where the horizon meets the sky. You really can't see it. You can see just the ocean surrounding the immediate part of the island that you're on, but you can see from your viewpoint, and you can see the hillock up there at the top of this peak that rises even above, higher than you guys are, in the central part of the island, with these dozens of cultists leaping around and doing some sort of ritual or dance up there. You can still hear the drums very faintly.
I curse as I smoke my cigar towards the.
Needs to roll for
Contest.
Clark Cooper.
Oh yeah, we'll do Clark here.
Yeah,
I
scales
curse.
down, man.
Let's see, Clark's
Oh,
gonna
this is
roll.
going on. These damn cultists.
Oh, he'll roll Dex,
Yeah,
I
well,
guess.
yeah.
I hate cultists.
You hate a lot of things,
Yeah,
Louis.
down for the better, man.
Jump
I know, but
on
this
here.
one is genuine. Like, I threw my cigar right.
Oh,
How
off
much
the
luck does he
pillar.
have?
oh, he's got a good amount of luck. He's got 67 luck.
I think he needs to burn it. He
He's
doesn't
got
want to
spend
fall.
31 of it though.
We need everybody we can on the top of this blue monolith to do this chant.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Come on,
If he fails,
Howard,
what
it is
happens?
the end of the world. It is the end of the world, so he burns the luck.
Mm. Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, so Clark gets down successfully. Luckily.
All right. If I suddenly disappear, guys, just because there's a lightning storm in the area, and it probably means my internet went out. So.
Okay.
We're gonna
Got it.
assume that you continue to chant and shoot everything that comes up the side. Agreed?
That is a proper assumption. So.
That's what I thought.
As soon as we're down on the platform, man, we link arms, we concentrate our power, and we chant.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll start the spell. Absolutely.
And
Oh
I just
no,
look-
knock rock.
I just
Alright.
get my gun prepared.
Yeah.
I just casually get my gun prepared.
Okay. You can see the prophecy now. The Zeppelin is slowly kind of wheeling around the monolith now, not too far away. You can still hear the kind of the whine of its engines as you
Can
guys
we-
begin the chant.
Can we attach the rope to the pylon, like to the monolith? Is there any way to wrap it around to keep it tethered?
There's nothing to attach it to. It's just a completely smooth surface up here. It appears to be some kind of stone or rock, but it's perfectly smooth.
I just unsheathed my blade and just cleaning the blood off of it.
Very well. I'll tell you what, guys. Let's take a 5-minute break here as you guys begin to. I'm assuming that now you're going to intone your spell at this point,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we almost chant.
All right. Let's just take a 5-minute break for a second here. I need to let this cat out. I need to get a drink.
All
Alright.
I'll be back in 5.
5 minutes.
Alright. actually join in the ritual.
Yeah, the professor recommended that the more people intoning the ritual and the spell, the more effective it may be.
We all
I'm just-
chant, dude.
I
all
chant
chant.
with my blade out.
Magic points or power we need to pour into it, man.
Who has the highest power?
I'm going with not fair.
Hello? Maybe
He's
Van
got
Helsing,
50.
he's got 67.
No, Helsing's here.
All right,
The
I
Cooper has
have
a 70.
Mediocre.
70? That's good.
I have
Clark Cooper has a 70.
mediocre power.
We're all rolling dexterity again?
And Helsing has a 67.
No, Aiden was just asking who has the highest power.
Oh, got it. Oh, for the spell. Got it, of course.
Yeah, Clark Cooper has a 70. Van Helsing has a 67.
All right. So
Here has a 50.
everybody back?
Has a 65, yeah.
You back, Stuart?
Or did the lightning claim you?
Stuart?
Give him a second.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not one.
No one who.
Cthulhu.
It is Cthulhu.
Hilarious.
There's nothing
Now it
funny
is.
about any of that.
Cheeseburger.
Someone's battling.
Cheeseburgers have arrived.
Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger.
The boys are watching Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan in the other room.
Oh, wow.
So I can hear it in the background.
Star Trek 2.
Yep.
Check out my rich Corinthian leather and my revenge.
The Reliant Khan.
Just knock on that.
All right, is everybody back yet?
I'm back.
Okay.
Hey.
Cool.
Stuart, you there?
Yeah, I just got back.
Excellent. Woo! All right,
All
let's do it.
It is time for the end.
So as I said, from atop the blue monolith, as you guys begin chanting, no, please, this is not, hold on a second, Angie, hey, take this.
Talking to me?
No. As I said, you can clearly see across the island, at the top of the mountain. Oh, here, let me go back to this here. A light rain begins to fall as you begin chanting, and you can hear the thunder now as the storm begins. And you can still see the dozens of cultists leaping naked around the site. As you intone your spell, you feel the monolith below you begin to shake and rumble. And you see between you and the peak in the center of the island another sort of gash appear in the island itself as there's this earthquake. And all of you kind of stumble as you continue to intone the spell, and you can see from your vantage point, the cultists seem to sort of falter for a moment in their wild leaps and chants up there, but they haven't ceased.
We continue as well.
As you finish the incantation, it's only, takes about 60 seconds to go through the incantation. And the professor told you to repeat it over and over again. As you finish the first incantation, you see in the distance the black panel or the doors of this immense structure on top of the peak fling wide open. And you see the cultists begin to falter. They all kind of fall. And you see this immense pair of dark arms reach out of the door.
Oh, no.
And this dark shape begins to emerge. And it's kind of hard to see from the distance. But it's this gigantic black moving shape, and you can see what appears to be its head is a mass of enormous tentacles. You can see these glowing eyes in the distance, and out of its eyes appear to be like yellow colored almost beams emitting from its face, as the cultists just all of a sudden kind of scatter as this thing emerges. And you see this shape. It's got to be several hundred feet tall. It begins to just wade through the mass of worshipers, like just crushing it beneath its feet. And you can see several of them. It kind of stoops down and reaches out one of its arms and scoops up a handful of cultists. And you can now hear the screaming from afar. The drums have stopped.
They did not plan for this.
And there are these great bolts of lightning begin coming down and striking the higher parts of the island around you and up atop the peak. And now you can more clearly see the silhouetted shape of Great Cthulhu emerging from these doors.
Oh, shit.
Kidding.
And I found a pretty neat representation. Normally I don't do this, but this is pretty cool.
Come on.
So I'll give you an idea of what you initially see down here. And I'm going to need everyone to make sanity checks.
Oh, jeez.
We probably don't want to fail this one.
You feel as if your senses you feel your consciousness become you feel like you're being mentally assaulted right now. There's like this psychic aura of horror and doom around you.
Shit. I can say I gazed upon the Great Cthulhu.
Oh boy.
And I to remember.
It doesn't seem like they planned for it, but now I'm
Have Sam take pictures.
I'm like, never mind. Let's just hurry with this chanting.
I guess I'll roll for Clark here.
You guys failed.
That'd be cool. Sam could get some pictures in. Oh.
He's got to get a picture.
Yeah, he's got to get pictures. Yeah.
But he can still take a picture roll.
All right.
Oh, that's sanity, right?
So the Russian, Aiden, you made your roll. Van Helsing, you heroically make your. Although I'm still going to require a loss of a D10 for you to. Yeah, roll a D10.
Shit.
I wish I could say I've seen worse.
Again, the psychic aura of horror and doom associated with the release of Cthulhu is so strong that only few humans can withstand it. It's not just the sight of it. You feel like you're being psychically assaulted right now.
The doctor's like, I haven't seen worse than this one.
6 sanity.
Yeah, so Aloysia loses 4. Tom, you lose 6. I need an idea check from Van Helsing.
A what check?
Idea roll. It's intelligence. You want to fail it.
Why would I do?
It's the old horror check here.
I don't. Wait, Can I spend luck and not think about it?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And we'll get to you other guys here in a second. So again, you all feel the psychic aura of horror and doom. And it's almost like this feeling like you've incanted the spell. Everything, the monolith is shaking below your feet. There's this earthquake happening right now. And all of your gazes are just riveted to this horrific form across the island. You see this thing again, it kind of stoops down, scoops up some cultists, and it's smashing them beneath its feet. And rather suddenly, it turns and begins descending the peak at the middle of the island, moving towards the blue monolith, towards where you guys are.
Keep chanting.
Yeah, keep chanting. We gotta sink this shit fast, dude.
Well, let's see here. Lee, roll a 1d1.
100?
Yeah, it's a 1d100 is the sanity loss for...
Holy...
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Wow, dude.
Not as bad as it could have been.
Do we all roll that?
I lost more for reading.
Yeah, I want to do it one at a time though.
Okay.
So Lee, now so you lost 19 sanity points. I need Jean-Luc to make an idea roll. It's intelligence.
Gents. Okay.
Yeah, you want to try to fail.
Ah!
Okay. Next up is going to be... See, Elisha lost his. It's going to be you, Stuart, for Johnny Law. 1d100 sanity loss.
Holy shit! Are you kidding me? What? Oh no! Oh no!
Have you guys seen the movie?
It's been good, folks. That was good. We had a good run.
His mind explodes.
Dude, my head just broke. I think my brain physically cracked. Oh my god.
Never be
All right, so after we make the rolls, we'll come back and we'll figure out the effects of this. But Johnny Law is reduced to 0 sanity points.
Oh no. Are there negatives or?
No, it's just 0. And now it's going to be Bear. Bear, roll 1d100. I'm not even going to require a for Johnny Law.
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
Wow.
We can both do it, Dad.
Amazing.
Father and son.
Wow.
Give me an idea roll for Bear, please. An intelligence check. Try to fail it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
We just
Dude,
this is so
Channing.
awesome.
All right, so let's see.
Nice roll,
it's going to be. All right, so Bear, you've managed somehow, some way, to retain your senses here. You're going to be the only one affected by, or adversely affected, at least for the time being.
And me as well.
Yeah, and the Russian.
The Russian is.
Oh yeah, and the Russian. He lost 4 sanity. Oh, that's right. Both of them, Bear and Aloy. Good job,
They're
guys.
both still chanting. Yeah.
Father and son.
Yeah, they're both still chanting. For the others, Van Helsing, give me a D10 roll for Dr. Van Helsing.
Didn't I make my sanity roll? Wait, didn't I make my sanity roll?
No, you made your intelligence roll, I think.
I failed my idea roll, but I did
You
make
did.
my first sanity check.
Oh, okay.
You did make your sanity check, but you still lost 1d10 sanity, and you lost 6.
Right.
And when you lose 5 or more, you have to make your horror check there. And if you succeed in your ideal roll, basically you're fully understanding what is happening right now. And
so I'm being horrified, and I need to make a horror check.
Well, right now we know since you lost 6 sanity and you succeeded at your idea roll, you're going to have a bonus right now of some kind.
Got it. So I rolled a 4.
More phobias. We must give him more cocaine.
Another twinge.
All right.
Now he gets
Can I
into a
still
fit
chant?
of laughter.
Can I still be chanting, even though I gain a phobia?
I would say yes, because what you're suffering from now, right now, is a state of panic, but there's really nowhere to go up here.
Okay.
So you're basically you're trying to flee in panic. So you would kind of run away in the opposite direction of where this thing is coming from. But I would say that you would keep chanting, maybe even just kind of from a subconscious reaction. Let me roll for Clark here too. I didn't roll a D100 for him.
Nice.
Okay, Clark
Nice.
gets 9.
There we go.
That's amazing. The 100's got such
He
low
doesn't
rolls.
The
Not all
19
of them
was a good
did.
roll.
All right, and Lee, you lost 19. So roll a D10 for.
Cigarettes, it's the worst phobia ever.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. This
Clark's
is
still taking pictures, right? Even though he's freaking out.
And you're
No.
just dying.
We'll get to what he's being affected by. So Van Helsing is fleeing in panic. John Luke, essentially, you're not going to remember any of this. Other than that, there's not too much of an effect.
Good.
I keep chanting.
And
Clark's got to be taking pictures of this man.
yeah, we'll get to John. We'll get to Clark last here. All right, Johnny. So roll it. Let's try to get an idea how this affects
Say
Johnny.
again?
Roll a D10.
D10? Alright.
Okay.
Does 2 mean
I
that
feel
I'm
like he's
completely
gonna die.
unaffected?
It's a psychosomatic effect. So Lee, as far as John Luke goes, the amnesia part, as I said, you're not going to remember any of this. And I would say the effect that would be on John Luke right now is you don't remember anything previous to this right now. It's almost as if watching Great Cthulhu, come down the mountain towards the blue monolith at you guys is just filling your world right now. You don't know why you're here, where you've come from, or anything. So I would say that John Luke actually would stop chanting at this point, just kind of staring in awe and just finding himself in a place that he has no memory of. Johnny, psychosomatic.
Whoa.
Let me just roll here. All right, I would say Johnny just kind of loses control of his motor functions.
Do I just fall forward and hit my head on the rocks?
Yeah, you don't quite faint away, I would say, but you're temporarily deaf, temporarily. I would say you still be able to see, but you kind of are temporarily deaf. Everything is just thunderous around you. You can't hear anything but just the sound of the lightning and the thunder, and you lose sort of a mechanical loss of your limbs temporarily. So let's just say you kind of just fall to your knees, arms slack, staring at the horror before you.
So I piss myself and yell soft tissue damage.
Nice touch. Yeah, perfect. Johnny pisses himself.
I just continue.
Clark faints.
So
Taking pictures.
Yeah. No, as the
Just
shape
before taking a picture.
as the shape of Cthulhu moves down the mountain and kind of temporarily out of sight, you see it reemerge closer to the monolith. And that's when Clark would faint. So most of you still have control. I would say
I
at this point,
continue.
yeah, except for perhaps Johnny, who's completely lost his mind.
That's it then, right? 0 sanity. I'm gone.
More or
As you're
less.
chanting, slap me in the face.
Maybe if you leave, you'll gain some sanity back.
As you
If you can
continue,
turn the tide.
as you continue to watch, the storm worsens, and you begin. And now Cthulhu lets forth this great bellow, and the island begins shaking, and all of you are kind of thrown to your knees from the force of the quake, and this storm just becomes chaotic around you. And I actually found a pretty good effect for this. If any of you guys have headphones, you might appreciate this. Otherwise, I'm just going to play it for you. It's kind of a cool thing, just to represent sort of the chaos and the horror of the moment here. Just play this. The wind and the rain become so intense around you that you feel you're being pushed, by the wind.
I continue anyways.
I mean, you try to stand back up, Aloysia, and you just kind of knock to your feet again by the wind and the shaking of the quake. And you feel the pillar begin to sway beneath your feet. You look up
Grab
and you
onto
can see,
Baird.
yeah, you can see the Zeppelin, okay? And there are these flashes of light all around you from the lightning. And the lightning's strange. It's not normal lightning either. It's like green flames of lightning bolting down from the clouds above, and the clouds are all glowing green and shit. And you see the prophecy
Still,
of the Zeppelin.
like, I sit, like, keep saying the chanting.
Yeah. A few of you remain, cognizant enough to keep chanting. And you see the Zeppelin, Devlin up there with his men up above. You see this green bolt of lightning directly strike the Zeppelin, and it explodes in a ball of flame.
Oh no!
Oh god!
I mean,
Right.
I mean, as it strikes, you see these sparks go flying, and immediately you see the main part of the Zeppelin just catch fire, and it begins going up in flames as it nosedives down towards the sea. And you're like, oh shit!
I just like look, and it was just like I still chant.
Yeah,
Yep.
keep chanting. We're not getting out of this alive. Just sink the island. That's the only thing we can do.
And then you can see the shoreline below you, nearby, as you look to the north. It looks like the water is rushing in to the more inland parts of the island now. And it becomes apparent that the island is now sinking.
Yes.
We did it.
I continue. I continue.
Keep chanting. Keep going. Make it sink faster.
I just grow like in strength. Each word just gets louder and louder.
It's like a 1980s Hulk Hogan moment where he comes up off the mat.
I started looking for a boat. Do I see any
Chanting.
boats in there? Any canoes, kayaks, anything?
Yeah, you look out to the east, where the cultists had their boats, and you can see the lights kind of twinkling through the mist and the fog out there. It looks like the boats are still out there.
Okay.
Good,
Okay.
we still have a chance.
I still continue.
So, we leave that way. And we keep chanting, but that's the way out.
I get loud, as in the loudest that a person can be.
Can Johnny be mindlessly repeating the words that he was repeating before his mind broke, or is he just done?
Maybe to some effect, yeah. He may not be getting it exactly right. But yeah, perhaps he would be trying to chant, even though he has no motor control of his mouth.
He's like Ash from
Yeah, from Evil.
Send it back.
Exactly. I said the spell.
Natu Ferrata.
So
There.
Cthulhu came out just to say hello.
So Tom Van Helsing, you're looking out at the light, and he kind of points it out, to the people who are still cognizant of what's going on. Would look, and you can see the twinkling lights of the ships. And Van Helsing says something like, "Out there, that's the way we need." But obviously, you realize like there is no way. You see the flaming wreckage of the Zeppelin plunge into the sea, out to the north. It's gone. It's disappeared beneath the waves. It's gone.
I continue.
And there is no apparent way. You guys are about, 700 feet up from the surface of the island. The monolith is now kind of tottering back and forth as you're kind of rocked to your knees by the quakes that are happening.
Only one thing to do: continue to chant, save the world.
Yeah, you look back at the horrific dark shape of this monster, Great Cthulhu, down below you, and it's about halfway between you and the peak of its tomb. And it is stopped. It stands, and you see it turn and begin walking back towards the peak.
I give it the finger.
Yes.
Yes, and the wind and the rain.
It just turns back for one glance.
Yeah, the wind and the rain, you see like Van Helsing's hair being whipped around in the wind and the rain. He lifts his hand and he gives Cthulhu the finger.
Yeah, I
just
keep
turns
chanting.
around.
I
Gotta
chant
start
and I
one
keep
last line, man.
At this point, you see something moving up in the clouds to the north. And busting through the green clouds up there, and Tom and some of the others would actually see this and maybe cry out, like, what the hell is that? You see what appears to be a ship, a white-sailed galleon, emerge from the green glowing clouds up above.
The Birdman.
I continue to chant while I'm looking at this.
And you see dozens of oars. It's a gigantic galleon that just comes out of the clouds up above, and you see the oars stretched out on either side of it, and they seem to be moving in unison as if it's rowing through the clouds. And you all kind of have to double take at this. You're like, what the hell is that? It has gigantic, the ship seems to be made of like white timber in its cloud or its sails are pure white. And you can see there's a symbol of some kind on the sails. It appears to be some kind of feather or something like that, and engraved into the bow or the prow of the galleon is the face. It's like a human looking face, but it has tongues coming out of its eyes. And its nose is kind of down, pointed towards you guys, and it's coming down at the blue monolith.
I just continue to chant.
You do. Turning back, you can see Great Cthulhu now is kind of semi-disappeared behind the mist and the clouds, and you can see now the water rolling in from the shores, and the earthquakes continue. It is very apparent now that the island is sinking. You look down, and you can see the water down at the bottom of the monolith that you guys are standing on. And as the ship gets closer to the monolith, you can see several figures on the deck of the ship peering down at you. And it nears the monolith and pulls up right to the edge across the way from you guys at the monolith.
Run towards it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm just like, this is the time to go.
You do. And you see three men standing on the deck, and one of the men raises his hand as if beckoning to you. And Tom Van Helsing, you would actually be the only one to recognize these people. Of these three men, you recognize two. One of them is Edgar Casey, The other, standing next to him, is Jacob Crowninshield. The other man standing with him appears to be an older gentleman with a full beard, and he's wearing this funny-looking hat. And as you get up to the rail of the galleon, you can see that the oars have been retracted into the ship. Casey reaches his hand out to you guys to help you. He says, "Come aboard! Now, quickly!"
We jump on board.
Can someone grab Johnny or?
Yeah, we'll grab.
We
Johnny,
just
we'll
like
grab
we.
John
I
Lee.
just
Johnny
put
and
him
Clark.
over my shoulder and just like throw him onto the ship.
Yeah, Aloysius got him like in the fireman carry, trotting across the top of the monolith towards the ship.
Don't worry, my friend. I will give you vodka. You'll be better.
I'm the last one on, and I smile as I walk on. The first time I smiled in years.
And after a few moments of boarding the ship, and it appears like these are the only men here. You don't see any crew or anybody else apparently on the deck of the ship. As you guys board the ship, you can see the monolith below you begin to totter. There's this huge crack as the monolith falls away and topples over. And you can see now very clearly that the island is now rapidly sinking beneath you.
We did it.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Save the world.
And I think at this point, Van Helsing, since you're the only one that knows these two guys, I mean,
Unbelievable.
And I
you
greet them.
know them,
I greet them warmly.
and they greet you warmly. And I think I'm going to leave kind of just that conversation maybe to our imagination. But what I have here and what I'd like to do, first of all, I'd like to show you this kind of representation, which is kind of cool. This is kind of what the white ship looks like.
Oh wow.
Looks like that boat from the Lord of the Rings, kind of, at the very end.
Yeah. I think the way that I would like to end this is sort of with an epilogue, okay? And leave the rest to our imaginations. This is from the journal of Jacob Shield at some point far into the future. And Crowninshield writes in his journal, "So once more," and actually let me paste this into the chat box so you guys can read along with me if you want, so we don't miss anything. It might be a little messy in the chat box, but either way. Let me pop it in there. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Jacob writes, "So once more the white ship followed the bird of heaven over warm, blessed seas, fanned by caressing aromatic breezes. Day after day and night after night did we sail, and when the moon was full we would listen to soft songs of the oarsmen, sweet as on that distant night when we sailed away from my far native land. And it was by moonlight that we anchored at the last harbor of Sona-Nyl, which is guarded by twin headlands of crystal that rise from the sea and meet in resplendent arch. This is the land of fancy, and we walked to the verdant shore upon a golden bridge of moonbeams. In the land of Sona-Nyl there's neither time nor space, neither suffering nor death, and there I dwelt for many eons. Green are the groves and pastures, bright and fragrant the flowers, blue and musical the streams, clear and cool the fountains, and stately and gorgeous the temples, castles, and cities of Sona-Nyl. Of that land there is no bound, for beyond each vista of beauty rises another more beautiful. And over the countryside and amidst the splendor of cities rove at will the happy folk, of whom are gifted with unmarred grace and unalloyed happiness. For the eons that I dwelt there, I wandered blissfully through gardens where quaint pagodas peep from pleasing clumps of bushes, and where the white walks are bordered with delicate blossoms. I climbed the gentle hills from those summits, and I could see entrancing panoramas of loveliness, with steepled towns nestled in verdant valleys, and with the golden domes of gigantic cities glittering on the infinitely distant horizon. And I viewed by moonlight the sparkling sea, the crystal headlands, and the placid harbor wherein lay anchored the white ship. The end.
Yes, baby. Dreamlands.
Nice.
So Van Helsing knows the two people who have a flying boat.
Yeah, it's kind of a long story. But yeah, they do. He does.
Does he know about the flying boat like ahead of time?
No.
I had no idea the flying boat.
No.
Jacob's so happy to see Van Helsing.
Yeah,
when he's alive.
Yeah, essentially, Edgar Casey was part of the group starting in Boston when this all began. And the saga of Edgar Casey is kind of, we've documented that. Basically, he was, blown up mistakenly and reappeared, and everybody thought that he was part of the Silver Twilight or whatever. And Jacob Crowninshield was also part of the original group.
Who started the quest?
Yeah, they had their adventures actually down in Central America before all of this started, and down there they had encountered Edgar Casey in the Dreamlands.
Dreamlands.
They didn't know at the time that they had traveled to the Dreamlands, but eventually they figured it out. And all of those Dreamlands, all that Dreamland shit that you guys went through, you had met Andrew Trelane, who had said that he was a dreamer, is what he told you guys, that he had spent, time in the Dreamlands, and he had known how to do this, and he explained to them that they were physically present in the Dreamlands, which is very unusual.
So now we have access to the Dreamlands.
Visited Jacob when he was in the asylum.
Yep. Essentially what happened was, and like I said, I'd like to leave more of this to the imagination.
Yes.
But essentially what happened was, Edgar Casey had, I would say, finally reached a turning point where he probably decided to try to contact Andrew Trelane, who the group had encountered in the Dreamlands. And through Trelane, they had managed Crowninshield, who was busted out of the asylum, and Ed and Casey were able to travel to the Dreamlands and learn a lot about the Dreamlands from Trelane. And apparently they had gained access to this white ship of legend and lore in order to retrieve the final remnants of our group from the...
Super sweet, man. That's an awesome art.
I'm just going to imagine what happened next is that I asked, I want to ask if the head of the cultist is still around, because I would go back and go hunt him.
Yeah, like I said, Aiden, I think I would like to leave that all. I think perhaps some of you, after traveling to the Dreamlands, certainly Jacob Crowninshield, I chose, would probably choose to stay there. So
it's like the end of the Cannonball Run. What really happened to everybody when he left?
Exactly.
Or the end of the Smoking the Bandit when they made it there with the beer. Woo! We made it to Atlanta. Okay, now what? We're gonna go get some chili, and that's the end of the show.
Right. So some of you may have had adventures in the Dreamland. Some of you may have traveled back to the waking world. But all we know for certain is that Jacob Crowninshield, who had been through a lot, decided to stay in the Dreamlands and spent many, many, many years, probably his whole life, and beyond in the Dreamlands. Everyone else, it's kind of up in the air. It could be sort of fodder for further adventures in the future. That's kind of the way.
It kind of leaves it open for sequel material.
I think I would definitely join Aleutian as a witch hunt.
So we might visit the Dreamlands through the 1880s adventure and meet these people.
It's a possibility.
Something
that
could possibly. That might be what kicks off the 80s adventure too.
Yeah, exactly. So I left it kind of open-ended.
Like if Van Helsing were to come back and visit one of his relatives and spill some knowledge.
And warn him ahead of time.
Let him know what's going on.
Come in.
Right.
That could the whole thing.
Yeah, so even though we don't know exactly what happened, we know that you guys were saved from certain doom by Edgar Casey and Crowninshield and Trelane. But as far as what happens after that, all you can be certain of is that they took you to the Dreamlands on the white ship.
And
Awesome.
adventures.
Maybe, yeah,
Awesome.
maybe.
So we
you know,
survived Easter Island.
yeah, and you know, I normally wouldn't do this, but I would like to commend you, Kyle, for that character of Bear. Think about it. He survived almost all the way through, like 3 or 4 chapters. At the end of this, you know.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
and he made some amazing roles.
Made some amazing
clutch
roles. Yeah, so I think, you know, everybody's characters, we can certainly bring them back at some point, or even just kind of inject them into our stories. And you know, don't feel like I'm going to limit you in any way. In the future, as we continue to play, we can make connections with these characters in the Dreamlands, as well as that whole second wave of characters. If you look here, let's go back and look just real quick here.
Clark could publish an article in the National Geographic.
Right.
That's right. Clark needs to
And tell our story.
Clark needs to publish his article.
Yeah, man.
Dreamlands edition.
Tell our story with all the prize-winning photographs.
Yeah.
You'll have to take Sanity points just to look at the photos.
Exactly.
Yes. It'll be a warning. Disclosure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
There's only 100 copies made because people start losing their minds, so they stop printing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
But
the
those
whole
100 copies exist.
the whole second wave of investigators here. You've got, you know, McBride and Grant and all these others.
Oh, dude.
Remain for, you know, further exploits.
That could be something that pops up in the 80s. Is like if Clark publishes this, you know, his article literally starts driving people insane. So it's like a super coveted piece by collectors, and so maybe if one certain collector starts looking into his article and finds something he shouldn't find.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. Or even like Tom said, in these Western adventures we have come in. I've thought about it. It certainly could, certainly can. You know, some of these characters may occur in our stories either as player characters, depending on what happens, or at least NPCs. I can certainly use them. But so all of these guys have survived.
Knights of the Resurrection Man are definitely a serious entity.
Yes,
Yeah.
and just even as an organization as a whole, you know, that's something that we could use in the future as well.
And
We
they've
still
got a
have
great tax shield because they're part of the church, so that's even better.
Oh yeah, we have all the books.
Right. Let's not forget about that tax shield, shall we, boys? Well,
Which must be studied.
Sean, thanks for getting this all together from the start. I remember we started; it was just you and Alex and me, and then everybody started to join along. It just rolled into this ball, but none of this stuff, none of these adventures, none of this would have happened without your week after week dedication, herding this group of cats in one direction for way over. So awesome work, man.
Well, thank you, sir. It's been my pleasure, for real.
It was really good. I
super
just
fun.
joined.
Well, thanks, guys. I couldn't ask for a better group of players. To be honest. This has been a lot of fun. I look forward to continuing this far into the future.
I'm super excited about the pulp stuff, the Old West stuff, because
Yeah.
I joined this one super late, but that one I'll actually be able to follow probably a little better.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because none of us have ever done it. It'll be kind of, you know, we've done quite a bit of adventuring, 1920s classic Cthulhu style, but yeah, it'll be neat to kind of spread out and try some different things with the game. There's a lot of amazing material, I think, out there right now for this game. I'd like to use it all eventually if I can, but I think the West is will be a nice change. It'll be interesting.
How old would Father McBride be back in the 1880s?
How old was what?
Father McBride be in the 1880s?
Well, for our first jaunt into Down Darker Trails, the year is going to be 1869.
How old would Father McBride be in 1869?
19. About 55 years between 1889 and 1924, roughly.
So McBride would be like 20 years old.
Would he? How old is
Yeah. Is he like 75 or so, Father McBride?
he? I don't think he's that old. I don't know.
Oh,
No, he's
Is it
50.
on?
He's 52.
Oh, okay.
I think Dr. Underbook was the oldest out of everybody here.
Yeah, that's.
I thought McBride was older than that.
Yeah, Professor Underbook's 70. So he would have been around back then. But I kind of like the idea, like I think Stuart brought it up, was it'd be kind of cool, because we have to roll up a character for you, Tom, for the Western thing. It'd be kind of cool to have your character
Oh,
as
Van Helsing Senior.
Yeah, is his father or grandfather or something.
Yes, please.
Have him as a, yeah, have
We need
have
Van
him.
Helsing.
Because well, when you do the math, Van Helsing Senior would be, I mean, he, if he's the head of the Van Helsing estate, his son Van Helsing would be born a little bit before when the adventure we're doing would take place.
Right.
Van Helsing in this adventure is what, in his 50s at least, right? How old is he?
He's 58.
58, yeah.
So the next story will be kind of like the prequel for Van Helsing.
Pretty much.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that could be interesting.
Is that what this is going to turn into? All of these are going to be the Van Helsing legacy.
If you so choose, it could be fun. It'd definitely be fun.
I'm
But
excited.
I like
about
all the
the,
character. I
Old
like all the
West.
characters you guys made for Down Darker Trails. Are some cool characters. It's gonna be fun.
Bear's tribe could be there too. Yeah, there's so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the Western
Like
stuff.
an ally of the
Yeah.
Van Helsing.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a cool little story plan. The way this is going to kind of work, just to give you a general idea, the whole background is going to be a good old-fashioned Texas feud between some Texas families, ranchers,
Like Van
essentially,
Helsing's.
fighting
Between
over
the Van Helsing
territory.
estate and someone, yeah.
And here
About
I can take you over
cocaine.
to kind of what I have here. Take a look at it.
It's about cocaine.
The drug market. Yeah, the snake oil sales.
Yep. I think that's actually an option as you're
Shipping his wares.
We're going to start in the town of San Rafael, El Paso County, Texas, 1869. So we've got a whole little town here that we're going to kind of start in. And you guys will be kind of established characters in the story already. What I'm thinking is, in some way or another, everybody's going to have a connection with one of the families, one of the two families that are feuding. And here's a general kind of map of the outlying area. And you can kind of see that each family's territory is kind of marked out in the San Rafael Valley. So it's going to start out as just your classic kind of Western movie. All right. No mythos, nothing like that. Nobody has any mythos knowledge. The only mysticism that we have going on right now, Alex's character. He's a Chinese immigrant with some mystical.
Who is a mystic?
Yeah, he has some mystical Oriental shit going on with him. But no knowledge of the mythos.
A
Yeah,
blood cabbage.
It's going to be a straight up spaghetti Western starting out.
All right.
And then once we establish the characters and maybe some plots, whatever, the mythos will creep in eventually. But just starting out, we're just going to establish it as just your basic classic spaghetti Western movie going on here.
Can we rename one of these to the Van Helsings?
Yeah, are we gonna make one of these the Van Helsing?
It depends. We'll talk about that when we make the character and figure that out. But I don't know.
Cool.
In a way, I'm thinking that might be good. Actually, I haven't thought it all through yet as far as how the characters are exactly involved with this. I know that the gunfighters will be probably hired guns for one thing. A lot of that went on. But characters like your character, Stuart.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna be involved. I keep thinking about it, but
he's going to be maybe a drifter type, or maybe he hangs out and feel that there's some good gambling going on here. So
And probably
you other
knows-
guys. Yeah, you other guys will just be either employed by the Van Helsing family or one of these other families. But most of you will just be kind of inhabitants of the town starting out. Like this is kind of home for some of you. Certainly Alex's character, the farmer, he's kind of a resident.
Yes, he just killed his neighbor, and he wants Van Helsing's to cover it up.
Yeah, it's kind of something like that. There will be sort of a little plot going on. Start out, just some motivation as far as what's going on and what's happening, what needs to be done.
Does Bear's tribe own the casino?
Could be. That's something we can talk about and work out.
There'll be cattle rustlers.
Figure out a story for my guy.
It'll be right after the Civil War too, so there's going to be a whole bunch of soldiers running around.
That's true.
That's true.
A whole lot of everything. But essentially, where you guys stand, there are other feuds going on besides the Van Helsing feud. There's essentially two men in town that control the town. But we'll get into more of the details when I give you guys an overview of kind of the background of San Rafael.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But even the map's kind of interesting. I like what they did with this map. You can see if you really zoom in, it might be hard to read these. But somebody handmade this map. And there's some writing on it. Like one thing says, I've marked some of the larger farms, ranches. There are some markings on the map as well as some landmarks, some of the mountains and some of the peaks. And there's a sort of a background to this whole town as well. San Rafael was founded by some Catholic priests. There was a Catholic mission in this area that was driven out. It's right on the border of Mexico, by the way, the Rio Grande right there. These priests were kind of driven out of Mexico across the Rio Grande. And there are some, cool kind of legends and things. But it's a kind of a mystery exactly where the original location of this mission was. And as a matter of fact, for fun, let me look at something here. And there's also
it's cool detail you pointed out on the map, man.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's really cool. There's also like down towards the south in the Rio Grande, it says some claim to have seen a crying woman at the river here. So there are kind of some mysterious like shit, legends and shit around here, which would be a nice kind of start to it as well. So there is kind of some weird shit going on that you guys may know about just from word of mouth, whatever here. Like out here toward the Lobo Valley, many have seen ghostly lights in the shadows of the Sierra Vieja. Yeah. What's this note up here? It says, "Mountain lives." Something like that. Okay.
Oh my God, is it like Mountain Lives Matter or something?
Mountain Lives Matter.
Yeah. Mountain lives.
Yeah. So it's a pretty cool map. We have some adventures here in San Rafael Valley before we spread out a little bit and everything. Then of course I've got a nice little map of the Old West here where everything's located.
Zeppelin.
Yeah, San Rafael's down here on the Texas border. That's a little out of place right now, but it's just like southeast of El Paso, down around here. And down here is another map of all the sort of the Indian tribes. And as we discussed, in this area of Texas, it's mostly the Apache and Comanche lands with some of the Pueblo Indians as well.
What is Bear?
He was a what's it called? I think I may have marked it on his character sheet. Well, on this map, it would be more like the California Indians aren't marked. It was a tribe closer related to the Hopi, I think. It was what's the name of it? Do you remember what that was called? I don't know. We determined that at one point.
Oh shit, man. Now it's gonna bug me.
The San Bernardino Valley. Here, I'll just look it up real quick.
Oh, yeah, where's the reference material? It's in there, isn't it?
It's kind of an obscure tribe. The Cahuilla Indians? No, that wasn't it.
Wouldn't it be
The Yuma? I think it was the Yuma. The Yuma Indians. Or no, actually, it was in the book. You're from the same tribe of Indians that the evil cannibalistic Indians broke away from in Devil's Valley.
Was saved by the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is that? It was with the Ark of Lactose stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'll find it real quick here. It was
And when they were talking about the
it's the Mojave Indians. Yeah, the Hotek were the outcasts.
There we go. Yeah, the Hotek. That's
Of the Mojave tribe, just like the Mojave Desert, the Mojave Indians. That's where Bear's from. I was surprised that nobody rolled up a Native American. But there'll be plenty of opportunity to roll more characters, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have a feeling there will be.
Yeah,
I feel like we might have new players as well. Really nice.
Yeah, I mean, even with the pulp hit points, you get double your hit points. Even with pulp hit points, bullets are still just as deadly. But essentially, what pulp rules are going to allow us to do, and Tom, we talked about it when we created characters when you weren't there. Pulp rules are going to let you use luck points for a lot of different things. You'll be able to use luck points to kind of power special abilities you might have. You'll also get back more luck every session to use. You can still use luck points to change your rolls, but you can also use luck points to prevent fumbles. You can use luck points to prevent unconsciousness. You can use luck points to prevent dying, if it comes to that. So pulp rules give you a lot more choices. As far as it's going to really help survivability for everybody, but it is still Call of Cthulhu. It's still going to be just as deadly.
I do want like one thing where there's this, like the manual with the guy holding up the statue. I want that to actually happen.
Yeah, that is kind of it's kind of an interesting picture. He's talking about this over here. And so you got this professor type guy, like saying, "This is great Cthulhu."
This guy right there is like, "Ugh."
I found it out in these, caves somewhere.
I found it in this casino.
And then you see, you probably didn't even see it. And I don't know if you did, but this guy back here with the knife.
I know.
Look at his face, dude. He's like a Deep One hybrid, totally.
I'm here to murder your family.
Yeah, it's like the Deep Ones don't want you to have that. We want it back.
I'm so angry that I'm not near water.
I want my water jug back. That statue was my water jug.
It's all full of lotion. My skin's dry out here in the West.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna spend the next week kind of preparing, putting this all together. I have a pretty good idea of what's gonna happen, but right off the bat, there's gonna be some good Old West action happening. I'm sure there's gonna be some gunfights, some chases, some violence, some shit talking,
spirits,
some gambling, some whoremongering, all that good stuff.
Spirits.
And, yeah. Eventually, we're going to go into a thing that I like to call Scanlan's daughter, and that's when the weird and wild shit's going to start happening.
It's all about the whoremongering.
Yeah, kind of.
I know that one character is basically designed for that.
Yeah. it is still relatively lawless out here in old San Rafael. And there are some federal marshals about, but there's no real law enforcement around here. So it'll be interesting.
Guys are probably around like once every 3 months, right?
Yeah, basically. They really just kind of show up if there's something, big going down. But I believe, as far as law enforcement in San Rafael, I think there's a sheriff and maybe a deputy or two. But they're corrupt, of course, and
I immediately pay them.
It's not like Gunsmoke?
no.
Like, we pay them like a huge amount
No,
to
this is
just go arrest the family.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens.
So like Tuco built his pistol in the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
He takes all the pistol parts and throws them on the table and listens to them, rolls them around in his hand, grabs a bottle of liquor, takes them back out.
Yeah,
right.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he puts together like a Remington, a Colt, and he uses different parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing that movie. It's awesome.
But yeah, it's not going to be like Dodge, Tom. It's not. They don't have like their own marshal. They're a little further out on the frontier than Dodge City was at the time. It's just the lawless West down here on the Mexican border. And the law that is here is sort of corrupt in a way that, like I said, there's two men in town who basically kind of control the town, and they're always fighting over, whatever. But the law, yeah, there's no town mayor or anything like that. Just assume basically the richest guys in town run it, and the sheriffs, work for them, basically. So there's a lot of corruption.
The old man.
Sounds like where I live right now.
Yeah. Yeah, some things never change.
So when the old man plays Van Helsing Sr., he should put a lot into that credit rating. Get nice and high.
Yeah. But yeah, we can talk about that, Tom. You start thinking about maybe what kind of character you want to play.
Mexican Van Helsing.
Yeah, that absolutely, dude. I mean, actually, San Rafael being on the Mexican border, many of the inhabitants of San Rafael are Mexican, Mexican nationals. There's a good mix, though. I mean, there's Indians, Mexicans.
This was part of Mexico, for a long time.
Yeah.
Can he just can this portrait for him just be just a modified Van Helsing with just a mustache on him, and it
kind of look like him, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of like an ongoing thing.
Mustache and a sombrero.
Yeah. Granddad.
That actually would be funny.
Yeah. And instead of the organ music, we'd have to more use something like.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So eerie.
Yeah, give him a top hat and a mustache.
Bit too slow for Van Helsing. He's not impressed, as you can tell.
Oh, if Van Helsing's rich enough, man, he could just have a hired organ guy follow him around with a little one right behind him. Every time he walks into the room, he starts playing it.
and you know what's interesting, Tom? I don't know if you realize this, but that actor, I can't remember what his name was. The guy from the Cannonball Run. He did a lot of, a lot.
Yes.
He played the evil guy and a guy.
He's a great bit actor, man.
Oh yeah, excellent actor.
Yeah, he's been around a long time, dude. That was his cameo.
Yeah, but I've seen him in quite a few Western movies. He plays a good gunfighter, kind of outlaw type is the way he was cast most of the time.
Basically, what he's saying is you can go find that profile picture real fast for your character.
Yes. An earlier version of him. Yes.
Yeah, in fact, I think I did. I did find some cool pictures of him.
The archetype is definitely El Indio, though, man. What a great bad guy.
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
Add mustache.
the prison and he knocks on the warden's door.
Like,
Jack-
let's
Jack
try to
is
draw
hands
up a
he's over the hole
concept
and
out
knocks
of.
him away.
Can we like try to draw a concept of him?
Jack Elam was his name.
Yep.
Can we
And,
just like draw on this guy?
Here, I have a picture of him here.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
drag
there's
it
a
in.
lot of Old West pictures of him, man.
Yeah, you see those?
Yeah.
So, like for instance,
Can we like have like can we draw the mustache?
sure, feel free.
I'm gonna try.
But like here's a picture of him right here.
Oh,
That's him.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jack Elam. Even into his old age, he was in a lot of westerns as well.
He tries to control that eye at all. He looks pretty mean. He's either a crazy prospector or your worst nightmare is.
Exactly.
Oh, here's a classic picture of him right here.
wait.
Pull this one in. This one's good.
Hold on. I have this piece of.
There he is.
There you go.
That is a perfect
gold.
Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just.
Granddad
He
Van
was-
Helsing.
You know what's incredible about him? At 40 years old, his eyebrows are just as crazy as when he's 80.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can I just add this? I want to see how this looks. This one black piece on
I could
his
see him side by side with Lauren Green.
on
from,
his face. But hold
Bonanza.
on. Let me just like put it right on him.
I don't know. He does have a very distinct look, doesn't he?
I just put it right on his.
Look at I encountered affordable Jack Elam posters for sale. There we go.
Oh, shit. Now I
In
know what
case
to
you
get me
want to
for my
have some,
birthday.
some Elam art in your house.
Yeah.
Here's one of those
Discord.
underwear. I
Check
got.
Discord, man.
Just everything.
That's the best Western one of them right there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes, we need a much more better Van Helsing with a mustache.
A younger, more robust.
A more Van Helsing.
Cocaine.
Snake Oilsman.
Used his crazy eyes to full advantage. It's like he had control over it, apparently, to some extent.
The chameleon.
Yeah, man, definitely. They've got a picture of Saddam Hussein when they pulled him out of that spider hole, and a picture of Jack Elam right next to him. They look pretty similar.
Cool.
This is my attempt at a mustache. Hold on, I'm just gonna.
Look at some of these pictures people have drawn, like art of him. It's great. Wow. They make his eyes like even crazier looking.
But here's him dressed up like a crack addict.
This is my attempt at a mustache.
Yeah, you look at Discord. Look at that one. Somebody drew that. Pretty funny.
He needs a mustache. That's the thing that's missing.
He does. He needs some scruff.
He needs more mustache. He needs a bigger mustache. Hold on, I have this covered.
There you go. There's him as a crack addict.
Nice. He was a good actor, though, man.
This looks like a typical circus clown there.
A French circus clown, Jean-Luc.
Circus clown, you'd have to be smoking a galois.
There's nothing funny about being a clown.
We need a Van Helsing with.
Thanks, France.
Can we have like one of those handlebar?
Honestly, you could just take the old picture, or like there you go. Just Photoshop a top hat and a mustache on. Call it done.
And a monocle. Add the monocle.
And a monocle. It's gotta have a monocle.
Experience.
Yes, this is perfect. This is perfect.
So if you have some time, Tom, either this weekend or next week or something, maybe we can get together and roll up a character for you. Or if you like, if you like, if you give me some guidelines, I'd be happy to do like we've done before.
Let's do that. I'll write up some guidelines. I got some ideas, and I'll send them to you, and we'll build one from there.
Okay.
I like that idea a lot.
Of Jack Elam and some guy having a sissy fight.
Yeah, what I would suggest, Tom, is I'll leave this page open here, and if you just kind of look at this list,
Okay.
I want you to pick a pulp archetype. Just pick from the list there.
Got it.
And an occupation. And you're not totally limited to what's listed as far as occupations, but we can get a general idea of what his, I don't know, what his, just basically his background is what we need to know. And I can put together all the scores and all of that kind of stuff for him, but I would like you to pick it. Yeah, I'd like you to pick the pulp archetype. And these are explained in a PDF, I think.
Okay, I'll find it. It's relatively self-explanatory.
Yeah, there's a Down Darker Trail section in the journal over there. If you open that up, there's a link right here, and maybe you can even download the PDF and take a look at it. But it gives you an idea on basically the changes that we're doing here as far as the pulp archetypes. And what the pulp archetype does, it just gives you kind of a higher score in one of your attributes, strength or constitution or education or whatever. And it will give you sort of an extra 100 points to put to any skills that would fall under that archetype.
Okay, all right.
I'm changing.
A backup character, Sean, actually.
Yeah. But if you just want to, just maybe send me an email with a general ID kind of play, I'll put them together for you. I mean, I do like the Van Helsing. That might be the way to go, one way or another. Whatever he is, I think he should be a direct relative of Dr.
I think you've got your nose too close to the mic, and it's like you're breathing for everybody to hear.
All right.
There you go. That's better.
All right, so let's call a session. It's midnight. Good game.
Yeah,
folks.
GG's. That was a great game.
Have
Thank
you
you,
noticed the
John.
change in my picture?
Thank you, everybody.
Very, very nice, Sean. That was an awesome ending.
Thank you.
looking-
Alex actually helped me with some of that and brainstorming.
That was good.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, man.
That was good, man. That was awesome.
And we can definitely bleed it over in the future games too, which would be interesting.
Yeah, I've changed my picture to my Russian guy. Aloysia.
With the Down Darker Trails one?
No.
I've got the. You mean your Discord? I have all the icons to just like the thinnest bar, so they're out of my way when I'm watching the game transpire.
I actually took the liberty. I found that Old West pictures were kind of hard to find. I actually kind of took the liberty putting in some pictures for everybody already.
Yeah, I was struggling. I didn't realize you'd done that. So cool, man. Thanks for doing that.
I did.
Yeah, yeah, the one you found for me looks way better than the one I found. That's for sure.
Perfect.
That's probably way more accurate.
Perfect.
Or at least a lot closer. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing I need from like Lee and Stuart, you guys just need to name your character between now and then. So I'll just check Discord every now and then between now and next week, and I'll have some notes in there. Just some final preparations. I might even put some background so we can get things up and running kind of quicker too for next week for the new campaign. All right.
Cool.
Sounds
I
good,
look forward
man.
to it.
Awesome, gents.
Great game,
So
guys.
we're starting Down Darker Trails next Friday then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's
Awesome.
the plan.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm psyched, man. I keep thinking about it. I'm really pumped.
Me too.
Van Helsing.
I'm a little nervous because I'm not sure how my sword mechanics are going to work out, but I try to put all the points in the right place to make him try to basically break his melee combat as hard as possible to make up for the fact that it's melee and a gunfight.
Yeah, well, he's good with a sword. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
He's got a 90 sword fight skill. So
Just for fun, go out on YouTube and look at gun versus knife, and see how quickly you can pull a knife out, depending on how close you are to someone.
Oh no, there's definitely an advantage for that, and that's why like he does have one. He's got I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was that one that's like the judge. It holds 9 shots, and all 9 are loaded with a 12 gauge round. Or sorry, I think it's a 20 gauge round, but it's got a shotgun shell in each slot. And it's just that one gun. He keeps it tucked in the back so nobody knows he's got it. Other than that, he's got 2 swords, so that's what he fights with.
Close quarters combat with blades is definitely, if you're close, you can do a lot.
That
of
was the best.
Yeah.
Best game
He's also ambidextrous. He took the ambidextrous.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why we went with him the way we did, and why we talked about doing him. Did was he's got a 90 sword fight skill. His dexterity, I think, is like a 95, so he can go first and close that gap before an enemy can get a shot off. And then he's ambidextrous, so he can get 2 attacks per round. And he's also got that other one that lets him dodge without giving up his attack the next round.
Nimble.
So,
Yep.
Did you notice, you guys, that during the entire
this might come out well
end of the session, like the entire campaign that I have joined, I've never gotten like a significant sanity loss at all.
Dude, yeah, you were making some good rolls too, man. Like all the way through, like the cave of the evil god and everything. Pushed your way through that pretty well.
Like
I think I made every roll except that last one.
You paid for it,
Dude,
for
that
every
was-
little thing.
That caught up to me. That was wow.
That was a tough one to miss, man.
Yeah, Johnny got skewered by the deep one, and
This took its toll, man.
Oh, and let's not forget, Stuart. You've got ambidextrous, nimble, and elegant chest hair.
Oh, that's right. I do have elegant chest hair. That's right. So if I'm trying to charm or convince someone of something, I can just flaunt that chest hair a little bit and helps me out. That's right.
That's right. That's right. We'll have to make a separate skill for that, maybe. All right, guys. Until next week,
awesome.
we will see you then.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye.